This is my friend Tucker, and he's a first grader that's going into second grade. I'm working with him this summer on just getting him more excited about writing, building his writing stamina and his writing fluency. So this was the sample piece that he brought me when we started working together. And I noticed a lot of things about Tucker. He's got quite a high frequency writing vocabulary in place. There's a lot of words that he's already very comfortable with writing. He uses capitalization and punctuation pretty easily and habitually. So one of the first things that I did with Tucker is I got him just to think about what he was going to write more by sketching out a plan. It wasn't meant to be illustrations, it was just meant to be thinking. And I worked with him on, let's have a main idea and at least 2 details for each sketch we make. So I was just getting him comfortable with doing that. And this is the piece then. We talked about it afterward as we did a little bit of revising. That's the purple pen. And then we talked about editing. I noticed though that unprompted, Tucker just puts a sentence per line. So that was one of the first things that I was working with him on, was wrapping that. Then the next thing that we started doing is I started challenging to pull an extra detail out of each sketch. And then I talked to him about how we can add on to the beginning because he was jumping right in with the topic as it was. And so we did that by actually trimming and adding on to. And again, we're still doing some revising and editing. He's realizing he needs to insert information in to add more to it when he reads and checks. This time I stretched Tucker to do 4 parts to get him thinking more, and I challenged him with main ideas and details about each part. Notice that I don't jump in and correct any spelling. I'm just working on letting him get those ideas to flow. I also had him use pen because I didn't want him focusing on erasing and worrying about errors. It's all about fluency and stamina at this point. So you went through, you reread it to make sure it made sense. There were a couple things we fixed up. And you went through and you checked all of your capitalization and punctuation. That's just really important. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to check some of the words that are on the word wall. And I found a few. Can you see the ones I highlighted?
Yeah.
So what one's that?
There.
Okay, and then I highlighted.
Was.
And then I highlighted part of this word. Was. And then I circled this word because there's a word you use that sounds like this word.
Right.
Would you like me to show you what one it was? You said light. So, can you find these words in here and fix it? For example, here's one that you're going to need to correct. And let's see, where was the other? Okay, here's one you're going to want to correct, and you're going to want to correct that one. I should say fix up, which is okay because that's why we have these tools to do it. Okay, then you had a lot of color words in here, yes? And you weren't sure about how to spell them? So look what I did on the back. I gave you some of the color words. So can you use these to help with your color words? So this is what Tucker's piece looks like now. The purple is where I found words on a word wall for him to correct, and I didn't focus on all of the spelling. I didn't want to overwhelm him. For example, ocean. I could have gone after that. Gooey, wet. I kept it pretty simple, son. I also am reinforcing that he's checking for his capitalization and punctuation, which he is pretty good about remembering to do that. So what I'm finding with Tucker now is that he's becoming more comfortable with letting these ideas flow and getting that stamina built up.